Hello and welcome to this edition of Headlines Nigeria on NITV. I am Grace Ukot. We'll take a look at the first paper today. Punch newspaper, federal government renames Abuja Airport Road and Katsina Airport after Yar'Adua. The federal government on Wednesday immortalized late President Umaru Yar'Adua by renaming a section of the Namadi Sambo International Airport Expressway Abuja and the Katsina Airport in Katsina State after him. Father kidnaps son, demands 100,000 naira ransom. A 45-year-old drum maker has been paraded by policemen from the Ogun State Police Command headquarters, Abeokuta, for allegedly abducting his 16-year-old son, John, and demanding 100,000 naira as ransom. Niger Delta, 2,000 ex-militants begin training in June, Alaibe. The amnesty program of the federal government in Niger Delta would next month enter a crucial phase with transformation training for 2,000 ex-militants. The training, which is a human development initiative, is expected to cover the 20,192 ex-militants who reportedly surrendered their weapons to government under the amnesty offer of the late President Umaru Yar'Adua. And Vanguard newspaper, appeal court orders Senate to swear in Igbeke. The Court of Appeal Enugu Division on Wednesday dismissed 2 appeals filed by ousted Senator Joy Emodi, representing Anambra North Senatorial Zone. The court then ordered the Senate President and Clerk of the National Assembly to immediately swear in Chief Alphonsus Igbeke as the duly elected senator representing Anambra North Senatorial District. El-Rufai docked, drags federal government to court over trial. The former minister in charge of the Federal Capital Territory, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and 2 key officials of the Abuja Geographic Information System were arraigned yesterday before a federal high court in Maitama over alleged abuse of office and corruption. They, however, took turns to deny the allegations. Daily Independent, Jonathan will contest in 2011, says Aide. Presidential National Assembly Assistant Kyrie Ojogbo reiterated on Wednesday that President Goodluck Jonathan will run for the villa next year, even though he has not declared his hand and did not mandate him to make the announcement. Intimidation won't make me resign, Ogbulafo. People's Democratic Party National Chairman Vincent Ogbulafo has asked those clamoring for his exit to perish the thought until the National Convention, which is the only legitimate way to get rid of him if they can. He stood his ground on Wednesday that no amount of intimidation would make him resign, even with the allegation of corruption against him in court and the reported desire of the villa to see his back. And now moving over to politics, Vanguard newspaper, Jonathan picks Namadi Sambo as vice president. Kaduna State Governor Architect Namadi Sambo is the vice president designate of Federal Republic of Nigeria. The vice president was appointed by President Goodluck Jonathan pending the confirmation of the National Assembly. Electoral reform, Senate to cancel grants to parties. A bill seeking to cancel federal government's annual grants to political parties was read for the second time yesterday at the Senate. The bill, entitled For an Act to Repeal the Electoral Act 2006 and Enact the Independence National Electoral Commission Act, was sponsored by the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, and 40 others. Leading the debate on the bill, Senator Ekweremadu said the new law is tailored towards providing solutions to the nation's electoral process. Ekiti, AC lawmakers fault election tribunal's judgment. The 13 Action Congress lawmakers in the Ekiti State House of Assembly have expressed disappointment over the judgment of Justice Hama Barker-led Election Petition Tribunal, saying the judgment has derailed the hopes and aspirations of the people of the state. Rowdy session as reps suspend debate over two-party system. The House of Representatives suspended debate yesterday over Section 80 of the Electoral Act. The minority leader of the Green Chamber, Mohammed Ali Ndume, proposed that parties be reduced to 2, People's Democratic Party and an opposition party. And Punch newspaper, zoning won't produce quality leadership, Yusuf. A member of the Presidential Advisory Council, Alhaji Diko Yusuf, said on Wednesday that zoning arrangements of the People's Democratic Party would deprive Nigerians the opportunity of having quality leaders. Yusuf explained that the only way the country could succeed in getting credible leaders was through a democratic process where those interested in holding public offices were allowed to do so irrespective of the geopolitical zones. Atiku still in search of a comfort zone. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's defection from the Action Congress and his rejection by some People's Democratic Party members clearly indicate that he still has many hurdles to cross. And on business news, Punch newspaper, rescued banks, why foreign investors are backing out Sanusi. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Lamido Sanusi, has explained why foreign investors who had earlier shown interest in the acquisition of the 8 rescued banks are opting out of the deal. Sanusi said that the huge amount of non-performing loans, current litigation instituted against some of the sacked managing directors of the banks, high rate of questionable assets, as well as the bank's lousy nature were some of the reasons why the foreign investors were backing out of the merger and acquisition arrangements. Still on Punch newspaper, poor utilization of resources, Nigeria's problem, World Bank. The World Bank country director, Mr. Onoru, has said that Nigeria has an enormous challenge in ensuring that its resources are properly utilized for the benefit of the people. Ru, however, praised the country for being in the forefront of electronic payment, which he noted would promote transparency. Because of the huge possibility for diversion of public funds to other purposes, the World Bank is partnering with civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations to empower citizens of the country to monitor the public procurement processes. Federal government releases $1.7 million to rescue stranded vessels. The federal government has released $1.7 million for the rescue of vessels that were washed ashore in Lagos on February 14, 2010. The Director General, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Mr. Raymond Omasheye, said that the agency had discovered 6 wrecked ships, 6 salvageable vessels, and 2 vessels whose owners are unknown. And moving over to sports news, Punch newspaper, NFF to take Amodu to World Cup. Former Super Eagles coach Shaibu Amodu has been listed among the Nigeria Football Federation technical staff going to the World Cup. Amodu was included in the 32-man list sent to FIFA on Tuesday, but no particular role has yet been assigned to him. And Vanguard newspaper, Heartland, Eyimba no continental foes today. 2 Nigerian football clubs, Heartland of Owerri and Eyimba of Aba, will today know their opponents in the 2 major competitions of the Confederation of African Football, the Champions League and the Confederations Cup, when the draws are made today in Cairo. While Heartland are playing in the Champions League, where they got to their final last year, Eyimba, former Champions League title holders, are in the Confederations Cup. And that's it on this edition of Headlines Nigeria. Thanks for logging on.